Pastor Roy Dearhart from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. Well, today I woke up with a lot of excitement. I was suddenly finding myself just so inspired by God for my message this Sunday. It sometimes comes together like that. I have been trying for weeks to work out some kind of a plan for presenting messages with drama, to act out characters for this Advent season. I've been trying to work that out for weeks and weeks, and nothing would really come together. And we actually then made some adjustments to our game plan last week, which brought a prophetic message from Isaiah to the forefront and starting out our Advent season. And man, Isaiah has some of the greatest prophetic messages about the coming of the Messiah of any prophet anywhere in Scripture. And last week we ended up reading Scripture from Isaiah and noting that our theme for this whole month is drawn from Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6, where it says, "A child will be born to us, a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulders, and he shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace." And last week we talked about that, or this past Sunday we talked about this promise. And this morning I woke up, and all of a sudden I was like stepping into Isaiah's shoes. And all of a sudden there were things that were coming together in a really cool way in my mind to begin to see the connections and see how Isaiah might have proclaimed those things if he had even a hint really in his mind of what God was beginning to let him see. And even if he only had a hint, wondering at the kind of questions that would have provoked in Isaiah. Well, when is this going to happen? Who's going to do this? When and where will this happen for us? Will I see it come to pass? Amazing thing is that there are things that Isaiah and other prophets will say that have impact in the immediate, right there, in the days, months, years to follow. And at the same time, open up a preview, something that has import and impact way, way beyond their time frame. There's a phrase that Isaiah and other prophets will use, and saying things like, "in that day," or "in the day that is to come," or "the day of the Lord." And those kinds of expressions speak to the work of God in its fundamental purpose and its ultimate objectives. When you say, "in that day this is going to happen," or "in that day you will see this," "in that day this is going to happen," what you're saying is any day. Any day that you want to turn to the Lord, this can happen in your life. Any day that you will listen to God, you'll be able to understand this and grasp this, and it'll have meaning and impact in your life. And in that day says that there is one day that is coming when this will all come together. And it tells us that this is the ultimate goal. And that's why any day that you would turn to God, this can happen in your life. It can impact you. In that day, there is a people who will who have lived in darkness, who will see a great light. A great light will dawn. And there will be a king that will come, who can be the Prince of Peace in our lives. Isaiah is starting to talk about something that may have short-run impact and importance for the people of Israel and Judah right then and there. But he's also talking about something that on any given day, you can meet the Prince of Peace. In any moment in your life when you turn to God, he can rule in your life in a way that brings you peace. And we know that because ultimately, God is bringing a Prince of Peace. The Son that is given in Isaiah 9, verse 6, the Son that is given is not just a temporary leader and ruler. He is the everlasting Father, the mighty God. He is the Prince of Peace whose government will never end. This is God's ultimate plan, and the final summing up of everything will come to this point, and that's why all along the way, this is exactly what God is offering to you and me. Turn to Him today, and you'll discover that what the Lord is talking about has immediate power and purpose that will be everlasting. May God bless you, and as you share this good news, may God make you a blessing wherever He takes you.